Hello everyone. Now in this particular video we are going to discuss question number 19 of GATE DA24 exam. Okay. So this question is easy, just for 1 mark, simple question. If you understand what this K means clustering is, then that's it. Okay. So this type of question you can expect next year also, and for 2 marks also, whatever I have discussed in the course, that type of question they can ask. Okay, finding out the centroid or finding out the data point belong to which clusters. So this type of question you can expect. But let's discuss this particular question. Okay, so Euclidean distance based K means clustering algorithm. It means we are going to use Euclidean distance formula to finding out the distance between centroid and a data point. Okay, so this is given to us, was run on a data set of 100 points. So 100 points are there with k equals to 3. So k equals to 3 means what? There are 3 clusters. So we are going to form 3 clusters here. Okay. If the point 1 1 and minus 1 1 are both part of cluster 3, then which one of the following points is necessarily also part of cluster 3? So this is what we need to find out. Okay. So I hope you remember what we have discussed in the course. So suppose this is my data point like this. Okay, I have this data point like this, and let's say I have this data point like this. Okay, like this. Now what I am saying, this is my one cluster. Okay, this is my one cluster, and let's say for example this one is my another cluster. Okay, we got this particular cluster after applying this k-means algorithm multiple times, multiple iteration, right? So we got these particular clusters, and say for example we have one more cluster because 3 clusters are given to us. So let's say we have this particular data point like this. Okay, and they are formed this particular clusters. Suppose this is 100 data points are there, and this is my cluster 3, this is my cluster 2, for example this is my cluster 1. What this particular thing is saying, if this point are both part of cluster 3, then which one of the following is true? So we know that by k-means clustering algorithm, if I get a centroid of this particular cluster, so it means that the distance of this particular data point to this particular centroid is minimum from all, is minimum than other centroids like this. Okay, if this is a centroid for this is a centroid for this, and this is a centroid for this particular cluster. So what is this? How we have formed these clusters? Because the distance between the data point and this particular centroid is minimum than the remaining centroid, right? So that's why we are saying that this point are the part of cluster 3. Now we want to find out one new point such that it is a part of cluster 3. So what I can say about this? It means that all the points lying in this particular cluster are closer to each other. Can I say like this? Because all the points I can say are nearer to this particular centroid, so I can say whatever the point will be there out of this 4 options, that will be also lying inside this particular cluster. It means that the distance between that particular new point and this point will be less than other data points. Yes, so based on this only we can solve this question very easily, right? So we have given the equidistant distance. So what is the formula for equidistant distance between 2 points, say x1, y1 and x and y? That is basically what distance is equals to under root of x minus x1 square plus y minus y1 square. That's it. So this is a equidistant distance for us. Now we need to find out the distance of both the points. Let's say for example I have P1, this particular point 1 comma 1, and I have P2, this particular point minus 1 comma 1. So I have these 2 points, right? Now what I need to do, I need to find out the equidistant distance from this 2 point to every point, and we need to check which point will have a minimum distance from this particular 2 point, because we can say then that particular point will lie nearby this particular points, right? So this is what I can say. So what we need to do now, first find out the distance between this point. Let's say option A. let's go for option A. So in this type of question, you have to go option wise. There is no shortcut to that. Okay. So first I am finding out the distance from P1, that is 1 comma 1, and my say point is what? This particular thing 0 comma 0. So distance is what? 1 minus 0 square, that is 1 square, plus 1 minus 0 square, that is 1 square, that is under root of 2, that is 1.41. Again this point and this particular point. So now distance from P to 1 comma minus 1 comma 1, then 0 comma 0. Again the distance is what? This particular thing. So minus 1 minus 0, that is whole square. So 1 square plus 1 minus 0 square, that is 1 only. So again 1.412. Okay. So distance between this particular point and this point is what? 1.41. Okay, let's see. We have 1.41, 1.41 for P1 and P2. We calculated the distance. Now what about option number B? So same thing for option B, that is for data point 0 comma 2. Now I will quickly calculate the distance here. Okay, for option B. Okay, so for point P1, also distance for, let's say for example this is D. Okay, so what is dP1? Distance between this point and P1. Same thing, 0 minus 1, 1 square, plus 2 minus 1, that is 1, plus square, that is what? 1.41. Again same thing. What about dP2? Distance from this D to this P2. Let's calculate here. So here is what? 0 minus 1, that is 1 square, that is 1 only, right? And then again 1 minus 1 square only. Again 2 minus 1 is what? 1 square. So again 1.41. Okay. So here also 1.41, 1.41 from distance P1 and P2. Similarly calculate for C and D. Okay. So if I calculate for C and D, what I am going to get? So 2 minus 1, 1 square, that is 1, plus 0 minus 1 square is 1 square. Again here also I will get 1.41 P1. So you can do the calculation. I am just doing it orally. Okay. Now from this point to P2, 2 minus of minus 1. So here 2 minus of minus 1 is what? 3. So 3 square plus 0 minus 1 whole square is what? 1. So 3 square plus 1 square, that is what? So 3 square plus 1 square is what? 9 plus 1, that is 10, under root of 10. That is basically what? 3.16, that is P2. Now if you compare option A, B and C, the distance between this particular point and this P1 and P2 is more in option number C. So 3.16. So surely this is not a correct option here, because we got option A and option B as the closest one. So 3.16 is greater than this particular distance. So I am saying that this option cannot be correct. Okay. So let's do for option number D now. 0 minus 1, 1 square, plus 1 minus 1, 0, that is 1 for P1. Again 0 minus of minus 1, that is 1, plus 1 minus 1, 0, that is 1 again. So here also P2, 1. So what we got here, the distance between this particular point and P1 and P2 is what? 1 only. So out of all these 4 options, which point is having the minimum distance for this particular point P1 and P2? That is what the option D is. So option D is the correct one here. Okay. So option D is correct here. That is what? 0 and 1. So this is how you have to solve this particular problem. So in the K means clustering numerical, you have to do a calculation. Okay. So this is a calculation based problem. Okay. And in the next year also, if you get a K-means clustering algorithm, it can be based on finding out the centroid, finding out the data point belong to which cluster, or the data points of the clusters. So this type of question you can expect, but the process remains same. So whatever I have covered inside the course, so please watch the tutorial and solve the question. Okay. So that's it from this particular video. I hope you understand the video solution of this particular question. Okay. Nothing, we just need to find out the distance between this point and these 2 points. Okay, for every option. So and let's see which point will have a minimum distance from these 2 particular points. Okay, so then I can say that this point is nearer to these 2 points, so it belongs to one clusters. Okay, I hope you understand the concept and this solution. So that's it from this particular video. Thank you.